Hey everyone, it's Faybae, and welcome to another episode of Farming with Faybae, where we take a look at the different farms in Guild Wars 2 and see which one gives you the most gold for your time. In this episode, we're looking back at the Silverwastes gold farm, since a lot of things have changed over the past year and a half that have impacted the way loot works in the game. So if you're interested in seeing how to currently make gold in the Silverwastes, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and stay tuned. The first thing that I want to say is that if you're completely new to the Silverwaste meta chain, then I suggest you take a look at my previous video on Silverwaste farming, because I explain the events in depth. While the data on making gold in that video is outdated, the first half of the video is dedicated to explaining the mechanics of the map events, and if you're not familiar with farming this particular map, I can guarantee that you'll find the video very useful. Since I've already dedicated a lot of time talking about the meta events in that previous video, this video will be dedicated to making gold and showing you how I handle the loot. I want to give a shout out to my guildmates for helping me collect data for this update. Eve, Luce, Merke, Iliora, Ducky, and Darth were so helpful because including their profits and methods in my data allowed me to include a wider range of values. It also helped to compare my own profits with those of people who farm for less time, have newer accounts, or have vastly different ways of making their gold. Because of this, I believe that this better reflects the Guild Wars 2 community, and that the updated average is one that is not only current, but generally accurate. If you're only interested in the results of the data and the numerical values, then go ahead and skip to this time, or click the timestamp down below, and you can skip all my explanations. I would prefer that you hear everything I have to say about the data I collected over the last few months, but hey, we're busy people and I get that you just want your results. It's all good. Okay, with that out of the way, I want to say that there is no right or wrong way to make gold in the Silverwastes, or in any map for that matter. There are a lot of things that are going to affect your profits. First of all, magic and gold find. You can find your values for magic and gold find on the achievements tab of your hero panel. These numbers are your base figures, meaning this is what your magic and gold find values are without any boosters, foods, or utilities. The more magic finds someone had while farming, the higher their profits. But what was probably another big factor in this, and something that I don't think many people talk about, is gold find. You get monetary rewards for each event that you complete, and sometimes from mobs themselves. The higher your gold find is, the more you're going to get from these events and mobs. People with a higher base magic find seem to usually also have a higher base gold find, probably because those accounts have been around longer and have more achievement points even without being avid achievement hunters. For transparency, at the beginning of my data collection, my base magic find and gold find were at 250 and 127% respectively. These have gone up since I started farming. I don't really want to sit here and parrot off each person's magic and gold find, but if you want to know the values, leave me a comment down below and I will post them. Eve had the lowest magic find and gold find values and also had the newest account among us. His profits were significantly lower than everyone else on every occasion. The highest profits typically went to myself, Luce, and Darth, who have the highest and most similar values for all these variables. Another thing that I think should be mentioned is that I usually don't farm for only 1 hour. When you do more than a single run of the Silverwaste meta, or rather when you kill the Vine Wrath at the end of a successful meta chain, you get a buff on you called Hero of the Wastes, which increases your magic find by 50% and awards you extra bandit crests for the events. This will make your additional farming that much more fruitful. Just farming for 1 hour or one meta chain and then leaving before you can take advantage of this buff isn't going to give you that extra snazzy stuff. So if you farm for only 1 hour, you're going to make significantly less than if you were to farm for 2 hours or longer. I know that it's not always feasible to farm for more than 1 hour, and I'm not trying to get you to just do nothing but Silverwastes all the time, but it's something to keep in mind. In the same vein, the value that I'll give in a little bit is for the average gold per hour, and it's not a dead set expectation of the gold that you're absolutely going to get. It's an average, so sometimes you'll get more than that, sometimes you'll get less. Like I said in my original video, the Silverwaste profits really are a crapshoot, and some days you'll do really well, and other days you'll do really lousy. That's normal for this map, and it's not something that you or I can control. Believe me, I've been there, it sucks, but it's what we've got to work with. Next, let's talk about Keys of Greater Nightmare. Now, I don't always use my Keys of Greater Nightmare, but when I do, it's because I save them until I have at least 20 stocked up. Before I leave the map after my last run of the farm, instead of running the chest train during timeout, I'll go to the hidden depths and use all my keys on the Nightmare Pod. This is going to greatly increase your profit for that day. But like I said, I personally wait until I have 20 or more, just so it's time well spent in place of the chest lap. When I do this, I've noticed that my profit for the day nears 20 gold per hour. But again, this isn't something that you do every day. The last thing I want to mention before I get into revealing the data is a really helpful tool that I didn't know about until recently. Did you know that there's a farming tracker on GW2 Efficiency? Because I didn't, and it's really helpful. This tool allows you to see how long you've been farming, and it breaks down every change in your account during that time, from the amount of coin you've gained or lost, the changes in karma, map currencies, and it also shows you what mats you got. I found this really helpful because I always hit deposit all when I'm dealing with my inventory on longer farm days. This helps me to see what mats I got and ended up depositing, and how many of each there was. So if I want to grab everything I just got from that farm, I can easily go into my material storage when I'm done and pull out exactly what it says on GW2 Efficiency. It also shows you your gold per hour. I highly recommend linking your account with GW2 Efficiency because there are so many helpful tools on that website. Give this video a like if you want to see me do a video going into detail about GW2 Efficiency and all the ways it can benefit you and your Guild Wars 2 experience. Okay, now that all of that is out of the way, let's get into the results. It's not going to be a surprise that the profits from this meta farm have decreased since my original video because back then, unidentified gear didn't drop. That patch didn't go into effect for a few months from the point of that original video. Now, the loot bags that you get from farming give you mats, some small amounts of coin, and a large amount of unidentified gear. Based on my 65 hours of farming over the past few months, in the Silverwastes, you can expect to make, drumroll please, 13 gold per hour. The best way that I found for making gold is once you're done with your farm, head to the Bandit Crest Merchant in Camp Resolve. Grab your daily bag of rare gear, then if you have extra crests and have enough bandit keys for your liking, go to the second merchant tab where you'll find bags of stolen goods. You get about a gold back per 50 bags that you buy. You can sell these directly on the trading post without opening them, or you can open them and add it to the list of things you're going to sell when you start heading up the trading post. Whatever you decide to do with the bags, it's a great way to turn all those extra bandit crests into gold because let's be real, unless you're buying thousands of crests worth of keys every day, you'll end up with crests to burn. And nobody needs that many keys. Unless you want to do a day of just chest farming, then I guess you would, but still, the point is, it's a nice way to convert one currency into another. Open all of your unidentified gear on your level 80, which is probably who you farmed with anyway. Salvage the gear that you get, and then sell those ectos. Open all of your other bags on a level 50 or bag opening character, and then salvage the gear that you get. Once your bag opener's inventory is clear, go back to your level 80 and refine your mats. Now, a lot of you asked what I mean when I say refining my mats, and I was a little surprised by this, but because you wanted to see it, here it is. When I say refining my mats, I mean that I go to a place with crafting stations. I go to the leatherworker and huntsman stations because that's what I have trained, but any station that refines wood, metal, cloth, and leather will work just as well. I use the filter for half materials and go down to the refinement tab and just start refining everything. Don't make dowels, they're absolutely useless and a complete waste of time. I refine all the mats because usually the refined products are worth a little bit more than the unrefined versions. Once I've crafted my heart out, I go to the material storage and pick out the things that I collected from the farm. This is where the farm tracker on GW2 Efficiency comes in handy because again, it'll show you exactly what you got from your farm, so you can pick those items out easily if you've deposited them. For me, this is usually going to be my T6 and some T5 mats. Head over to the trading post when you're ready and sell everything. The day reflected in the footage that you're seeing isn't my typical farm day because it was the middle of the night and I just needed to get the footage done. But I ended up farming for just over an hour. My farm started with a vine wrath, so I ended up getting the Hero of the Waste buff on me. Based on the average that I calculated, I should expect to get a little over 13 gold from that amount of time. But I ended up with about 21 gold, which is pretty nice. So there you have it, 13 gold per hour on average in the Silverwastes. Personally, while it doesn't make me as much as it used to, I still really enjoy this farm. I meet so many fun people when I spend time on this map doing this meta. Shout out to all those people who came and farmed with me over the past month. You guys were really great and super friendly, and I really appreciate all your support. If you have any questions, thoughts, or tips, please leave them in the comments down below and let me know what your favorite farm is in Guild Wars 2 so far. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified and kept up to date with all of my Guild Wars 2 content. If you have any suggestions about which farm I should cover next, drop me a comment or tweet me at Faybae45. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Bye!